Good morning and welcome to the show. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. Our focus this morning is on an organization that started out as a small group of dedicated volunteers whose goal was to create a home away from home for families of seriously ill children. Here to tell us more about the outstanding work they do to make a difference for children and their families is Petrie, President and CEO of Ronald McDonald House Charities, Eastern Wisconsin, and Bridget Kessner, who serves as the Development Director. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Always a pleasure to see you. And since the early 80s, the Ronald McDonald House here in Wisconsin has provided more than 36,000 families a place to stay while their child is being treated at Children's Hospital of Wisconsin. That is a remarkable thing to do. And if you would tell us more about how you help families and their kids.
Sure. So since 1984, we keep families together. If you can imagine as a parent being told that your child has a critical illness, and then you're told the best place to receive treatment is Children's Hospital of Wisconsin in Milwaukee. Well, for families who live far away, it's hard enough to be told what you have to go through with your child being ill, but then to have to go to another place, have to worry about housing, have to worry about the expenses associated with that, it's really overwhelming. The Ronald McDonald House's mission is really simple. We keep our families together while their child is being treated, and that child and the family is welcome to stay at the Ronald McDonald House until he or she is better and can go home.
That is wonderful. And it's hard not to notice the McDonald's connection when you talk about the Ronald McDonald House. So if you could explain what role McDonald's Corporation plays in actually helping out with the Ronald McDonald House Charities of Eastern Wisconsin.
McDonald's Corporation is our mission partner. McDonald's helped build and fund the first Ronald McDonald House in Philadelphia just about 40 years ago. And since that time, McDonald's has been very supportive of us as a charity. Now, with that said, we do not receive any direct funding from McDonald's Corporation. What we do get is we get the great support from our area owner-operators. They allow us to have those canisters where you drop your change into. That alone gives us 15% of our annual funding, and we could not do it without that great service that they offer us. They also do other things, such as some of the owner-operators sit on our boards. They help us with events. So they're very, very important. But again, as an organization, we rely on the public, on individuals, on corporations to help fund our operations.
Yeah, and I mean, I think everybody has been to McDonald's one time or two or 50,000 times.
Right. Yeah.
And you do see those donation boxes. There's one at the drive-through window, and then there's one inside the store as well. And it makes it really easy for the community to be able to donate and help make a difference. And why it's so important to have you here talking about this today, so that when people do see the box, they have a better understanding of where that money is going. You mentioned that 15% of that money raised goes towards your annual operating costs, but there's also a couple of other ways that these restaurants help. They give a portion of the proceeds from the Happy Meals and also the Mighty Kids meal. And I'm like, is that in a different part of the country? I'm like, Mighty Kid meal. I was like, okay, I must have missed that one. But it's just so many ways that people can help make a difference. And then there's the Helping Hands and Day of Change, right?
Right.
So if you could explain what's the Helping Hands, how does that all come together?
So it is our ability to partner with those individual owner-operators, who are part of co-ops. So we have 2 co-ops that support our house directly. So every time you go into one of the McDonald's and they say, would you be interested in purchasing a heart or a hand? When you say yes, you're immediately helping our families. And I think that's been such a nice thing for us to be able to share that message, that the donation boxes, that money does come right to the house, that when you help through those various campaigns, that money comes back to the house and helps us serve our families just so beautifully.
And we will be referring to the Ronald McDonald House as the house, just so everybody knows. And
Sure.
the last time we had Jacquelyn, your PR person, here, and she was talking about all the construction that was going on at the time right there on Watertown Plank Road, and I'm sure that the viewers who had to drive through there were well aware and remember. But now that construction is complete, and if you could tell us how are things looking and what has come from the construction.
Yes, I love to talk about our construction because it is over and it has been wildly successful. For over 4 years, we had to turn families away every day. So imagine that you do have to come to Milwaukee, you do have to use a place like the Ronald McDonald House as you're staying at the hospital, and you have no place to stay, and we have to say, no, I'm sorry, you're on our waiting list, we'll let you know when a room opens. For that many years, we had that message to deliver every single day.
Wow.
Since January 1st, when our construction ended and we finished all of our internal remodeling and refreshing, we haven't had to turn one family away.
That's awesome.
That is such an amazing accomplishment because what it means is that we don't have to say no. We don't have to say no to a family in need. And that made the 15 months of construction and the craziness along Watertown Plank Road all worth it.
All worth it.
And it is a beautiful place. We have 70 rooms, all having been either new or refreshed. And we have beautiful kitchens that families, that our volunteer meal groups can serve the meals in. And it's just it was a great place. It's even better now, and I would invite anyone who'd like a tour to come and see it.
One of the things I would share is that's most visible probably is that wonderful bridge across Watertown Plank that we all see. And that really is such a wonderful representation about the partnership we have with Children's. And now our families can walk across the bridge as they need to get to appointments every day. We have a van that makes hourly runs to the hospital as well, and that van also takes families to the drugstore or the grocery store. So we really do try to think about all those little things that families need.
Yeah.
And the house expansion really allowed us to create some other spaces in the house that address the needs of a family. So we have a game room now and we had a game room before that was fairly small. Wisconsin winters are fairly long, as we all know. It's a little bit. And so now we have this beautiful game room that has a ping pong table and other kinds of games for families and children to interact with. And we have a fitness center now that allows families to maintain some kind of wellness while they're staying with us. So the comprehensiveness of the house renovation really allowed us to lift up and support our families in a different way than we were able to before.
It sounds like it all came together beautifully. And let's talk about some of these nurturing programs and activities that you do offer to the children. You mentioned the game room, and there's the reception area and the recreation area. You have all kinds of space for these families, which it's supposed to feel like home to them. If they have a rec area at home, then they have one at the house as well. I love that. You have art therapy, which is internationally known because you've won awards with this particular program. Talk about that and how this particular program helps the children who are recovering from whatever medical scenario they're dealing with.
Sure. Community is so important. And as a Ronald McDonald House, we are not offered to directly provide any kind of therapy services. So this all came about approximately 7 years ago in working with our great collaborative efforts with Children's Hospital to have an art therapy program. And what it allowed us to do is have an art therapist who would conduct her sessions both at Children's Hospital and at the Ronald McDonald House. And why that is so important is many of our families have a child that may be inpatient for a week and then perhaps has 2 weeks of outpatient and is staying at the house. That child can make that seamless transition back and forth and still receive art therapy to help support and give them reassurance and the sense of community with others participating with the same art therapist.
Wow.
And that's what's so critical. And in the past few years, through a generous support from the Kohl's Cares program, we were able to expand that program, and now we have art therapy and music therapy almost every day at both the the Ronald McDonald House and at Children's.
I love
Great
that.
program with a great supporter to back it.
Yeah, and anyone that's done any type of research knows just how much music can make a difference, whether it's dealing with your physical health or your well-being. It really does play a role. So quickly, I wanted to also look at the toy program because every child loves some sort of toy. So you do have one in place to help out as well.
So we have this beautiful space in our house called the Magic Room.
Okay.
That you walk in and it is magic because it is a room filled with shelves that have toys. And we have wonderful volunteers who make sure that that room is constantly being stocked, and so it's separated by toy and by gender and by age, so a child walks in and their eyes light up.
Yes.
So every time a child and their family checks in, they're given a golden coin, and the child and their sibling can visit the Magic Room. And really, we rely on the generosity of our community partners and our donors who collect toys or do toy drives, or perhaps a child has a birthday party and asks children to bring unwrapped toys that then are donated to the house, so that we can make sure that our children always have that special toy that helps them feel welcome. And maybe if there's a tough procedure ahead of them on a particular day, there's an extra visit to the Magic Room that allows them sort of that feeling of being special and cared for.
I like that, and we'll talk about more of your programs and services as the show goes along. But before we run out of time, I did want to talk about some of the major events that you have each and every year. I want to shout out our girl Debbie Allen. She is the franchise owner who brought alive the Rock the House event here in Milwaukee, and I have been privileged to host it for the last couple of years. And when I tell you, you have hundreds of people who come together dedicated to helping make a difference with the house. It is such a grand affair. And last year you raised over $51,000.
Correct.
That's awesome.
It is absolutely awesome. We could not keep our doors open without having donors, without having special events, and Debbie Allen has been a fantastic supporter. In the last 2 years, we had amazing Rock the House events.
Absolutely, and we'll keep doing them in the future for sure. There's also these programs that's coming up in the fall. They're events, I should call them, and this one is going to be grand for sure. October 21st, the Nordstrom Gala, and anybody who's a shopaholic knows that Nordstrom is going to be coming to Mayfair Mall, and this is going to kind of coincide with the grand opening of Nordstrom in our city. And this gala, tell us more about it.
Yeah, so it's a party that is being held on October 21st. It is open to the public. Tickets are $100 each, and you can buy them online. And Nordstrom, as a great company that comes into a city and wants to engage the community, has done just that. It looked for charities and decided to partner with 3. So we are one of the 3 charities. In addition to Ronald McDonald House, we have the Links Incorporated and we have United Way. And we are going to benefit from the proceeds of this amazing event, which, if it's anything like the parties they have thrown in the past for their openings, it will be spectacular. And there will be models showcasing the clothing. The store will be open for pre-purchasing before it officially opens on Friday. There will be a band and DJ and great food and great beverages, and just really made so that Nordstrom's is welcoming everyone from the community into its new store.
I love that, all the way around, win-win scenario, because really it's still benefiting the great things that you're doing at the Ronald McDonald House, and you still walk away with great memories and all of the things that you mentioned, not to mention you get to go to the store before everybody else. That's an incentive for sure. I want to talk about the Ronald McDonald House Charity Gala that's coming up on November 7th.
So that's just a wonderful opportunity, again, to see hundreds of people come around together to support the house. We'll be at the Pfister Hotel, which in Milwaukee is one of the most elegant venues we have. And it gives people an opportunity to learn a little bit about our mission, to come together with friends who have a similar passion around the mission, to dance, to enjoy some really wonderful food, to bid on beautiful auction items. And this year we're really happy to share that Panache Desai, who is one of our family members, he'll be speaking, and we brought his book, so he is been on the O Network. He's just a beautiful man with a lovely story to share, and he and his wife will be our speakers, because every time we do an event around the house, we want to inspire, engage, and inform people about what we do and how they can partner with us. And so this year will be an extra special event, and again, you can purchase tickets to join us for a lovely evening at the Pfister in November.
November 7th.
November 7th. Mark your calendars, and those tickets are available as we speak.
Online.
So the website address is
Yep.
rmhcmilwaukee.org, and everything that we've talked about thus far is right there at your fingertips. Thank you, ladies, so much for coming by and filling us in on all the great things you're doing. And I want you to stick around, and I thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you.
And Petrie is the president and CEO, and Bridget Kessner serves as the development director for Ronald McDonald House Charities, Eastern Wisconsin. When we return to Our Issues Milwaukee, we'll continue our conversation about the house, and we'll also meet a family that has made the Ronald McDonald House their home away from home. We'll meet them right after this.